We all have trivial cravings and desires in our lower consciousness, unaware that they are controlling us, making us run after them. A big house is not going to make us happy unless we are happy in a small house, making it our home. Our mind is composed of our conscious mind, subconscious and unconscious, with our conscious mind being our small home. It is a small part of our brain's capability and potential. So many people meditate to unlock the subconscious mind's power, or they use subliminal affirmations. Politicians and advertisers also use sensory information to manipulate us to do something, buy or respond to what they want us to react to. This reflex is similar to jumping when scared. Omen and Soares measured the perspiration of participants in an experiment about the fear of snakes. They flashed pictures in front of them very fast of different objects so they couldn't decipher what they were. But when pictures of snakes were flashed, the participants began to sweat even without knowing what they saw. This experiment shows us that we have a low awareness of subliminal influence, and that thought pollution can be a major threat to our happiness. The good thing is that we are not the thinker, but the observer, so when we distance ourselves from our thoughts, beautiful things happen. Adyashanti says, "There is nothing personal about your thoughts. They are just phenomena passing through awareness." We have little awareness of our subliminal influences, but we can rewire our thoughts to upgrade our brains and experiences by transforming to the spiritual, which is better than mental depression. It is not easy to change and transform into the spirit, but it is worth it because everything we are looking for is not outside the physical but inside our consciousness. Our body and mind can work and do their jobs without us getting angry, annoyed, and irritated if we realize we are the awareness behind them that is at peace in our higher consciousness. When we expand our awareness, we connect our unit consciousness with other unit consciousnesses, so we have expanded consciousness. Everything has consciousness because it is just energy carrying information, but it is at different frequencies, with the higher vibrations uniting like three notes coming together to make one chord or one vibration. As our consciousness expands, doors open and we become stronger and are ready to experience the sweetness of our mental well-being and the bliss of our spiritual awakening. Lao Tzu said, "The key to growth is the introduction to higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness." To experience a higher state of being, we must awaken and be aware of our surroundings in the present moment. Call it mindfulness or wakefulness, but it is just a high. We don't have to control our thoughts or achieve anything, as we only need to stop our thoughts from controlling us by keeping us away from the present high. We get high when we can observe reality in different dimensions of consciousness, which is the essence of peace of mind. Happiness comes to those who are self-aware in peace, or as the Upanishads call it, being in bliss. When we have a problem, we get mad because we feel disrupted from our peace, and when sad, we feel our peace has been taken away. Our highs come when we are positioned in harmony with what is going on around us, which is the essence of peace. Peace is not given or taken away, as it is transcending or rising above our petty desires to gain and benefit from a higher consciousness with the qualities of peace, love, and wisdom. Albert Einstein said, "No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it." Every second we spend in higher consciousness appreciating what we have raises the consciousness of the people around us, family, friends, and in the world. We try to understand the world and our problems with our minds, but the problems and the world we believe in come from our mind's projections. The mind is not capable of understanding higher consciousness because it only understands the perspective of the subject and object. The mind is in duality and understands duality, but can't comprehend just being, not two but one in unity with everything. The mind sees many things separated from each other, but leaving the mind, we perceive not two, not many, but only one. The flash of light in higher consciousness is pure bliss when we leave our mind for a second or two, because, in the mind, life doesn't get better, easier, or uncomplicated, so don't wait to be happy now in the present. Tagore sums it up in 3 quotes. From the solemn gloom of the temple, children run out to play in the dust. God watches them play and forgets the priests. His second quote is, "The butterfly counts not months but moments, and has time enough." And the third, "Clouds come floating into my life, no longer to carry rain or usher storms, but to add color to my sunset sky." It does not matter what we are doing. We can be playing with a child, watching a movie, studying math, or playing video games, as they all connect and are in tune with our consciousness. There are different levels of consciousness, and they determine our reactions as they affect our behavior without speaking a language but speaking at low to high frequencies. When we use the word consciousness, we use it to indicate awareness, or we use it unconsciously to show no awareness. We all have a normal, habitual, standard consciousness that we and others are accustomed to, but we also have our way to reach a higher state of higher awareness. We reach higher states of mind by singing, chanting, sports, music, dancing, fasting, meditating, or creative writing, because they all alter our consciousness. When we alter our consciousness, something changes within us, which could be our dopamine or serotonin levels or our higher or lower level of consciousness. When we are in our lower consciousness, we react physically by being defensive, blaming, and arguing. But when we occupy our higher consciousness, we move beyond our petty desires to think of others, love, and enjoy bliss. The longer we spend in our higher consciousness, the greater the probability that what we hold in our mind will actualize. Sri Aurobindo said, "Outside and above the mind there is the play of a consciousness, which is lighted by the higher truth, but man is not conscious of it in that he has to be conscious. Our next frontier is beyond our mind, our thoughts, and reality. As we evolve to a higher consciousness or experience an altered state of consciousness is our evolution. In our unit consciousness, there is a conscious mind, subconscious and unconscious, and in an altered state, we experience the superconsciousness that in Christianity we say is holy, which is being whole in the one consciousness. This state is a deeper being of wholeness where we are a part of a greater whole. It is not making efforts to be perfect, but an acceptance and love of ourselves and others in wholeness. This love is not about flowers or jewelry, but about unity and adapting to a higher level of love and unity in consciousness. Then we start employing that experience of non-dual consciousness to understand more fully the love and unity of mature spirituality. The experience of unity, or wholeness, is holiness and harmony, peace and love in a greater awareness that includes everything and everyone. Plotinus said, "If we are in unity with the Spirit, we are in unity with each other, and so we are all one." The path to a higher consciousness starts with love, unity, and wholeness. As Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." To do this, we have to love ourselves first in a higher state, by being happy and open. Then to reclaim our higher self, we need to reconnect with our spirit, and then unite with love in the one collective consciousness. This dynamic unity of love is in our consciousness, which is a unit in our soul, and as a collective it is labeled God, the collective consciousness. Love, unity, and wholeness are one, entangled, and impossible to separate, so we see our neighbor as a part of ourself. This harmony, or harmonic of the universe, is in the higher dimensions where we accept diversity and differentiation in duality, but also with unity and wholeness. We know we are on the path to wholeness and our higher consciousness when we sense the one consciousness that expands beyond our own. The one consciousness includes everyone and everything, which means it includes our lower self and our higher self, so we want to evolve from our reptilian mind that is defensive to our holy mind that benefits from an expanded awareness. Sri Aurobindo said, "The one aim of my yoga is an inner self-development by which each one who follows it can in time discover the one self in all and evolve a higher consciousness than the mind to a spiritual and sacramental consciousness which will transform and make divine our human nature." Eckhart Tolle said, "To realize that you are not your thoughts is when you begin to awaken spiritually." In a world full of so many religions, philosophy, and scientific concepts on the nature of creation existence, one can easily become confused when contemplating their ideas on how we came to be. If we step back though, not diving into theorizing a model for creation existence, but look at all the previous concepts as a simple representation of there being something out of our knowledge to do with creation, that we were created through this thing out of our knowing, that this thing out of our knowledge contributes to the function of creation. If we collectively come to form this opinion, we will come to lose superstitions around God and find a more divine nature around our place in creation. Our place is that as a collective consciousness, UEI is God in the forming of our peers being or coming to their true selves, and everything is God in influencing our being to our higher self, where we live with a more divine manner, being who is meant to be, an individual unique expression of the divine. As we come to hold this perspective and through the evolution of language, we will come to see the meaning of this thing out of our knowing the divine, the reason for God, being that to define as the only source of creation. God's source of creation, free from superstition, can then be used to define the unknown around our coming into existence, UEI, being that of a source for the creation of reality, others' true selves, and our higher selves, for we are God's source of creation. As one of the things religion does give us is that attention in masses attracts powerful energy that is used in creating reality, thus us being a source of creation God. All I know, through my experience, is that God is real, not the superstitious God you think, but God that is just the source of creation. Your source of creation is the point in time where you commune with your higher self into developing your true nature. That source of creation is God. That source is all life, all experience, and all time that has left a mark on you. All life, you, me, everyone is God. All experience, everything you encounter is God, leading to your source of creation and finding God, your higher self. Upon coming your higher self, you see that you are God, in being a part of the source of creation for other beings reaching their higher selves and all finding the meaning of God, the source of creation. which we all are God, or that God flows through us for the forming of our peers' higher selves, as this happens without our direct intention, highlighting an external God, or more so the unknown, the divine, living throughout all life, which is the true source for all creation, the divine. If you do not like the word God as the source of creation, even though God is the simplest way to analog the source of creation, the word consciousness can be used to express the same thing. Consciousness is the collective, UEI, and the source of directing reality. Consciousness is the source of where all experience is derived from, which leads to each own finding their true selves and higher selves. Consciousness is what everything is. We simply become conscious of it as we develop the awareness or awaken to the truth that UEI is consciousness. Consciousness is God. God is consciousness, coexisting and thus divine creation, being the power that we all connect to, feed off of, an external and internal experience to progressively work towards reaching our higher selves, our true nature as a face of the divine. The divine is what all life forms are created through. We all are divine incarnations, living to collectively find our divine nature, enriching the whole with our unique face of the divine, to progress each own to finding their divine manner, so that humanity can come to be a true reflection of the divine, embracing love, awe, life, in total balance with peace and harmony. The divine is the meaning for that out of our knowledge, as that out of our knowledge is godlike, it is divine, and we each are manifestations out of this unknown source, the divine incarnations of source life, which we all are expressing something out of our knowledge, thus giving meaning to the unknown, divine. The divine, the unknown source to which all life is connected, stems from the term to define the unknowable about the coming into existence of creation. God, consciousness, the words to give meaning to the source of creation in the forming of our reality, our true nature and higher selves, the known source that influences each own unique experience, guiding us to finding our true selves as an expression of the divine, each expressing a unique angle of the unknowable, from which forming our divine nature.